This is an open letter to Black America from Unity Ministers. We love you, and we embrace our responsibility to eradicate racism. It is our divine appointment to stand with you.
To see you.
To hear you.
To listen.
To be in conversation with you.
To be with your anger without judgment.
To know your sacred worth.
To acknowledge my privilege.
To take responsibility.
To confront complacency.
To back my words with action. Palabras con acción.
To be accountable for effecting change in my community.
To support Black-owned businesses.
To be a bender of the arc of the moral universe that bends toward justice.
To demand the end of police brutality.
To use my voice and my vote to end systemic racism.
To hold you and our country in prayer.
To be a call to action.
To be a voice for justice.
To be a voice for unity.
In this constantly changing world, life and personal values can seem more than a little unstable. Just when you think you have it all figured out, then everything changes. Sometimes life can seem overwhelming. Well, the good news is you can change your life. You have within you the power to learn how to flow with the changes and smooth out the bumps of life. You can experience the joy, peace, health, and abundance you deserve. You were created to be happy and productive. That urge to grow and express yourself was put there for a reason. Learn the spiritual principles that can help you not just to survive, but thrive in this changing world. At Unity, we'd like to help you do just that.
Imagine a spiritual path that honors the universal truths in all religions, that sees we are all one. Imagine a movement that respects each person's right to choose their spiritual path. Imagine a spiritual movement that empowers and unites rather than divides. This is Unity. For more than a century, Unity has offered a positive, practical, and progressive approach to understanding and applying the teachings of Jesus and other spiritual masters.
Each and every person has inborn God-given powers. We can change our lives by learning to use these powers consciously and intentionally. The way we use or misuse these powers shapes our reality. Connect with your higher self. Connect with the divine.
Imagination. Imagination is connected to the God mind streaming of consciousness, which is quantum energy. We as humans on Earth are gaining elevated awareness of our power and relativity to the cosmos. We share these energies with the galaxy, with the universe, which influences outcome. Such wonderful knowledge to be able to integrate our powerful imagination with oneness. Let's use our unlimited imagination to focus on the new human. We can really rejoice when we understand we are in charge of the manifestation of our pathways to get to know our real self. Exploration of imagination offers our ability to see who we really are, to see our purpose, and develop the path most suitable to experience our human journey. All we will ever need is within us, because we are a part of spirit, not separated as we often tend to see ourselves, but actually a part of the whole, which allows powerful ability to emerge into our true selves. Imagine our individual emerging self while getting acquainted within this power that sits within our being and attached to the highest energy of love. We develop a relationship with spirit. We begin to recognize these connective energies of varied dimensions associated with our activities in our lives. We know then we are being accompanied by an entourage awaiting acknowledgement to allow our imagination to raise consciousness of quantum energies that can lead to our participation as the new human on Earth. We must begin to see ourselves as super souls, being a link into mastery. See the current rollout of cultural, social, political, and global values that are taking place. Those involved will need to recapitulate energies to visualize advanced functionality necessary for forward movement. Let's allow our imagination to go deep into our cosmic kinship in effort to receive notice of our personal role assigned to this process. Remember, our individual light is phenomenal, even when unnoticed. So imagine the light of a group's effect on this changing world. And so it is. Bonnie Thompson Ford.
Greetings and welcome to the wonders that only exist at this moment. Thank you for joining us at Unity of Chicago South today. Let us center ourselves. Just for today, we will keep our minds filled with possibilities, not obstacles. We will keep our conversations filled with the good we deserve and watch this goodness engulf us. Just for today, nothing will be impossible. Greetings, I'm Reverend Dr. Stephanie Wilson Coleman, and it is a pleasure to be here today. My message, as always, is intended to be a message of hope, one that will inspire you to rethink what is possible for your life, to inspire you to believe in your inner star to carry you places you never dreamed possible. And as you listen to today's lesson, I also want to encourage you to climb the mountains in your life, that you already have all of the God you need in this moment to believe that you are worthy of the best. We're celebrating the spiritual principle of imagination, which is defined as the releasing of limiting thoughts and imagining something greater. The disciple is Bartholomew, and he represents positive thoughts held in mind. The corresponding color is light blue, and the location is between the eyes. TruthUnity.net defines imagination as the faculty of mind that images and forms, the power to shape and form thought. The imagining faculty presides at the nerve center between the eyes, and through this faculty, the formless takes form. With our imagination, we lay hold of ideas and clothe them with substance. The body is the product of the mind, and what man pictures or imagines in his mind will eventually appear in his body. In the communication of God with man, the imaging power of the man plays an important part. One of my favorite quotes is, "Limitations live only in our minds, but if we use our imaginations, our possibilities become limitless." Imagination is the act or power of forming a mental image of something not present to the senses or never before wholly perceived in reality. We often confuse thinking with imagination. Thought refers to mental impressions or a mental process that continues to happen unless it is controlled. On the other hand, imagination is a voluntary thought that is made by an effort. This is the main difference between thought and imagination. It is through imagination that we can explore ideas and things that are not physically present, things that have never been before experienced. We use our imaginations when we're planning vacations, hanging out with friends, grocery shopping, thinking about what we should have said or what we should have done. And it's been said that our imagination is our mind's greatest power. Albert Einstein reminds us that imagination is more important than knowledge. Logic will get you from point A to point B. Imagination will take you everywhere. There is no limit to imagination. And the true sign of intelligence is not knowledge, but imagination. You see, we have the power to create the life that we dream about. So what do you see? We have an obligation to dream. And we know that imagination is the beginning of creation. Imagination ignites passion. As we function in a world that's filled with boundaries, responsibilities, and examples of what you cannot accomplish, imagination gives you a place to dream of what can be. It allows you to recharge your passion, and it allows us to reconnect to our purpose in life. We all have read that successful people use their imagination to create mental images of whatever they want to achieve. It helps them to see their goals, to see ways towards something, so that they can create concrete steps to take. So everything around us was created from someone's imagination. That chair you're sitting in, the floor you have your feet on, everything started in the imagination. So everything starts in the mind. And we've already established that it starts in the imagination. Your imagination is responsible to a large extent for the kind of life you are experiencing right now. So what is going on in your mind now? Because that will affect your future. Everyone has a dream of something they really want. Something that makes your heart skip a beat just thinking about it. Do you have a dream that is so extravagant, extremely beautiful, immensely opulent, and extraordinary that the thought of it leaves you breathless? I want you to take a few seconds to close your eyes and visualize that it is yours now. Can you touch it? Can you taste it? I want you to see it. I want you to feel it. I want you to experience it. Now, open your eyes. As you open your eyes, do not allow the reality of your present situation to dissipate your dream. Continuing to merge positive thoughts into your imagination will enable you, the dreamer, to manifest your dream. Michael Brown, the author of Finding the Field, An Adventure of Body, Mind, and Spirit, states, the third universal truth is that all things, seen and unseen, are connected. All things are just different faces of consciousness. The field, the Great Spirit, the Source, the Tao, the One, are all names for the same thing. The universe is consciousness and creates whatever object you can name. A mountain, a mouse, a fish, a bird, a blade of grass, or a puff of air. All of it is consciousness. So we must all be confident enough to believe deeply enough to vision ourselves into success, because living in your imagination is easier than you think. There is no requirement to eradicate anything that you're currently experiencing. The requirement is simply to shift your focus to what you would like to experience. And as you spend more time living in your imagination, you automatically decrease the time you spend living in your nightmare. Your imagination builds a mental picture of what you want, and this is communicated to your subconscious mind, which will supply the energy to do something about it. It will also make you aware of any opportunities that could make it reality. If you worry, think negatively, expect failure, your imagination will deliver this to your subconscious mind also to supply the energy to create it. If you imagine progress, success, promotions, happiness, your imagination will deliver this to your subconscious mind to supply the energy to create it. So choose carefully. When you're trying to reach a goal, start with the following steps. You need to identify the idea or the initiative and inspiration. This is the why that you want something. So in the idea, what have you been thinking about? What is it you would really like to accomplish? Now ask yourself, once you've identified those or answered those questions, ask yourself why this is important to you. Remember, your why is what's going to give you the fuel to keep you on track. Then there's the mind sight. You've got to cultivate your mind sight. Mind sight is the way we focus our attention on our internal world. It's our awareness about ourselves, our thoughts, our feelings. Where is your attention? How are you focusing on someone else's world? How are you focusing on your world? Your mind sight is important. And of course, you have to take action. It's been proven that if you take 5 inspired action steps every day, that lead toward your goal, that you will accomplish your goal. This could be making phone calls, following up, doing some research. Whatever you do gives you more than a 93.75% chance of achieving your goals. So action is important. And there's gratitude, a state of thankfulness. Be grateful for every accomplishment, regardless of the size. What you focus on, you create, so that gratitude lead the way. Even if the event seems to be negative, I want you to be grateful for that, because you found a different way to do something that you needed to do. And then there's a law of expectations. That's the power that will control your subconsciousness to help you fully create self-fulfilling prophecies. Your expectations fill you with energy to achieve more than you can imagine. See, you are in control. So no matter where you find yourself, on the side of what you have called good or what you have called bad, I want you to be grateful for it, call it all good, and get to the next step. When I was growing up, I always enjoyed exploring theories and concepts and reaching across boundaries. I always wanted to just explore ideas and to find out how I can change the world. And as a result of my curiosity, I always wanted to attend a college that was ranked in the world's top universities. Growing up, I wasn't able to do that. See, I was an African-American teenage mother. I was doing the best I could to recover from being sexually molested. And I eventually ended up unemployed, divorced, and homeless. I decided to create a career that would resemble a career of someone who graduated from an Ivy League college. And then it happened. I received a card of interest from the University of Chicago. I was ecstatic. What could I lose? I quickly responded, mailed that card in, and let them know that I was excited. Now, never mind, the tuition was nearly $100,000, which I didn't have. Never mind that I didn't know if I could get in. They invited me to their reception. They invited me to attend classes. They invited me to apply, and I did. What could I lose? The worst that could happen is they would say no, and no has never killed anyone. So I said yes, I applied. I talked to my employer about it, and voila, I was accepted. And my employer paid the tuition, and I successfully completed the University of Chicago's MBA program that is rated in the top 5 throughout the world and top 1 or 2 in the United States. I used the power of imagination to imitate the success that I envisioned that would come from this educational experience. And the universe granted my wish and actually opened the door for me to attend and graduate from this prestigious college. I want you to know that the same thing can happen to you. I'm not special. I have the same powers that you have, and that's the power of imagination. So start to use yours today. Make a commitment to create and view all of your mental images several times a day. This power of imagination can enable you to experience a whole new world inside of your mind. You can explore different situations. You can explore different points of views. And remember, all of this increases the vibration that you offer to the universe for fulfillment. Neville Goddard says, determined imagination, thinking from the end, is the beginning of all miracles. The requirement is to shift your focus to what you would like to experience. And as you spend more time, as I said earlier, living in your imagination, you have no more time to live in your nightmare. And I understand that not everyone has such a vivid imagination, but that's not a problem either, because we have at our fingertips ways to create vision boards, collages, dream boards, in order to spur our imagination. So get out that board, create a dream board, assemble various pictures. They can be whole pictures, fragments of pictures, and arrange them on your board or on your paper, on your computer, in a way that makes sense to you. I want you to play with these pictures until you get a feeling of what's possible for you in these patterns. And as you begin to form these patterns and associations, your mind will help you a lot. So you don't have to force them. You just continue it until your collage feels complete. And once you do that, I want you to give it a cool name or phrase that will remind you of what it is you are imagining. Imagination is crucial. So at this moment, I want you to agree to allow yourself to stimulate new ideas in your head so that you can weed out the ones that will not work. Give it a try. You just might surprise yourself. You may create the life that you dream about. Let us become still. Just for today, I will trust that power greater than myself to guide and direct my steps. I will seek out the things that make my soul smile and take the time to appreciate the beauty that surrounds me. I will believe just for today that the universal power is working to shape my world in ways that I cannot begin to imagine. Just for today, I will not be separated from God. It matters not how straight the gate, how charged with punishment the scroll. I am the master of my fate. I am the captain of my soul. Trust your greatness. Use your imagination. Namaste.